and Oscar-winning animator Adam Elliott. They are a diverse, eccentric, exhilarating type of polymath graduate. Bravehearts. What's not so good about that model? A lot, we are told. Well, sort of told. Okay, so in the past few weeks, we've seen and heard the outrage, the dissatisfaction, the gossip, the broadcasts, the blogs, the leaks, the protests from students, from advisory board members resigning, the defences, the silence. Where are the open statements? Where is the public debate on an issue that has become so undeniably controversial? Professor Pretty has challenged on radio my failure to personally contact her to hear her side of the story. Unfortunately, in the past 2 giddy weeks of my engagement with this dilemma, my schedule hasn't permitted that encounter. Obviously, her schedule has also prevented her from making an inspirational statement of clarity and vision today. I've kept my ear to the ground on this debate. I've read the statements, I've listened to a wide variety of industry colleagues and commentators on the matter. I've sifted through the bias of those too close to it all, where judgment is marred by resentment or hot-headedness. But no matter how vibrant the exchanges, I can't get past the fundamental fact that there's a smell in the air that the Melbourne model has an economic rather than an artistic priority. As has been said earlier, yes, they're cornered in these financially difficult times with a need to slash and burn, but with a disregard for not only the 33-year history of this place, but its deeper primal creative roots in the original National Gallery of Arts, going back to Tom Roberts, McCubbin, Arthur Boyd, to the conceptual vision of the founders of the current model as a centre of contemporary art practice led by practitioners from the field. The singular most admirable visionary, often forgotten, was Lenton Parr, a metalwork teacher from the other side of the tracks who became a great sculptor and a profound mentor to so many students. He was ably supported by the amazing Dame Elizabeth Murdoch, Philip Laws, an Antarctic explorer of all people, and Sir Eric Westbrook, who championed the Arts Centre complex as a focus for Melbourne's diverse creative energy. Those 4 people all envisaged a crucible of endeavour in an era of relative indifference. They made an oasis in a desert, ahead of their time. They also believed society and the accepted artistic conventions would shift because the trained artist would become a skilled provocateur. Principles that have matured rather than decayed over the years. Do we want to let that go? No! 5 years ago, Brendan Nelson's reforms in higher education, slashing funding drastically, let everyone down. Remember? Yes. Andrea Hull, having fought for over a decade to establish brave initiatives, including federal recognition, then saw an imminent closure of the college and was generously rescued by Melbourne Uni. Melbourne Uni claimed at the time of amalgamation 2 years ago that the integrity of the VCA would never be tampered with. It was to be the jewel in the crown of their campus, referencing the Yale model. The Act of Parliament with which former Premier Rupert Hamer defined this current school, I believe, has been dissolved. To me, that's a kind of betrayal. Yeah. So where are we? An ideological stalemate? Yet another regular brick wall that we hit in the slow progress of artistic endeavour in this country? I would like to take advantage from this platform to propose 2 things. A public forum, at least, to air this uneasy current Cold War. Yeah! And secondly, that we call publicly on Prime Minister Kevin Rudd and Arts Minister Peter Garrett to address this situation, this gridlock, and seriously consider elevating this unique interdisciplinary college into the select national consortium of companies that receive direct federal funding. Unencumbered by the financial and curriculum restrictions of a university, to pull it out of the quicksand, to give this place its rightful place alongside NIDA, the Film, Television, Radio School, the National Academy of Music, the Australian Ballet School, the Australian Youth Orchestra, the National Circus School, the National Aboriginal and Islander Skills Development Program, and the Australian Institute of Sport. Institutions that proudly boast of training that nurtures and launches, training at the forefront of important, specialist, experienced, highly individual institutions, letting the work here be practical, challenging, and artistically profound, not chiefly academic. Creative education that doesn't start from a point of compromise and unnecessary dilution. The Melbourne model seems to be dragging us further and further away from inclusion in that central, crucial arena. What do you think we deserve? Thank you.
Very shortly we are going to, thank you, the rain has stopped again, thanks Mr. Rush, well done you. We're going to start marching in a moment after the brass band kicks us off.